What's going on, YouTube? Happy Monday to everybody, and good morning to everybody. Today, I'm going to be talking about London Thomas, and as we recently found out, there has been formal charges brought up against the mother and son. But before I do get into that, I do want to say my copyright disclaimer. Um, Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, commentary, news reporting, scholarship, and research. So I want to read this article that's from Wayne County's prosecutor's office, from Ken Worthy's office, and I'm going to share it with you guys because I kind of want to know why the delay. Why did it happen 8 months after we got this bit of information? And I believe I mentioned it on my first video or one of my second videos that I was covering London Thomas, the one that we just recently found out. I believe it was like a few weeks ago, but it's in my playlist. All right, so this is dated as of October 17th, and this is from Wayne County's prosecutor's office. It says, mother and son charged in the murder of London Thomas. Prosecutor Kim Worthy has charged Jalen Pendergrass, 23 of Inkster, and Charlotte Pendergrass, 49 of Clawson, in connection with homicide of London Thomas, 17 of Detroit. Ms. Thomas had been the girlfriend of Jalen Pendergrass. On April 5th, 2025, Ms. Thomas was reported missing by her sister to the Inkster Police Department. She was last seen at approximately 4 a.m. when she was dropped off at Jalen Pendergrass' house in the 27260 block of Carlisle Street in Inkster. I don't know why they have it worded like that. It is alleged that Jalen Pendergrass and Ms. Thomas had been involved in a relationship, but that it had allegedly ended at the time she arrived at the house in Inkster. On April 6, 2025, Ms. Thomas reported her missing to the Detroit Police Department when she did not return home on Albert Street. She was not seen alive after being at home of Jalen Pendergrass. Now, on April 5th, 2025, the Inkster Police Department conducted an initial investigation of the case. Shortly thereafter, the Detroit Police Department and the FBI and the Michigan State Police joined the investigation. On April 26, 2025, the Inkster Police received information from a male friend of defendant Charlotte Pendergrass, and that information was given to the FBI. On April 7, he alleged that she called him and asked him to transport a sealed plastic bin with unknown contents. He received and placed the bin in an SUV on Miller Street in Southfield on April 11. On April 26, the Michigan State Police Department responded to the Miller Street address to assist the FBI and the Detroit Police Department to conduct a search. The search led to the discovery of Ms. Thomas' lifeless body in the bin in the SUV at Millard Street. Her remains were taken to the Oakland County Medical Examiner's office. It was determined that Ms. Thomas died from asphyxia and that the manner of death was homicide. Okay, so let me pause real quick and go back up. So on April 7th, pretty much, it was a male friend of the mother that got a phone call about dumping a plastic bin or getting rid of a bin. He didn't know. She didn't tell him what was in it. He didn't ask either. She was reported missing on April 6th. So a day later is when they actually moved the body. Now, the phone call was not officially made until April 26th. So he waited like 2 to 3 weeks before even coming forward to the police. I believe at that particular moment, he probably started putting two and two together about London Thomas, whether or not that was an actual body in that bin that he moved. I'm pretty sure due to the weight of that bin, he had to suspect something or have known something. That's probably why he called in, especially when she was already, at that time that he made the anonymous tip, she was already reported missing and everything. She was already on the news and everything about her being missing. I don't know whether or not this male friend maybe came in contact with London at some point when possibly they were in a relationship with the son, when she was in a relationship with the 23-year-old son. Maybe they have crossed paths, but we don't know that yet. But something had something went off that pretty much made him call the police and tell the police what she had pretty much asked him to do. I think he was trying to cover his own ass in the event that if it blew up, when things blew up and hit the fan, he didn't want any type of involvement or any type of prosecution coming towards his way. So he just thought giving out an anonymous tip, maybe. I'm not sure. Or he just felt like he was doing the right thing. That's a possibility. But I want to know if where I was getting at is that they've had this information for about 7-8 months, and we just now got a charge. Sorry, my computer's messing up. Yeah, so 7-8 months ago, they got this anonymous tip, but they did not make any type of arrest or charges until late October. Meanwhile, when they were arrested back in May, both the mother and son was given a bond, and they were out on a low bond amount for that matter, and they were out. But I feel like even being questioned or being a suspect for the son's part, at least, he should not have even received the bond to begin with because he was out on bail before. But now that the bail has been increased, he's not. But I'm gonna go ahead and finish reading this. It says the evidence shows that defendants Jalen and Charlotte Pendergrass allegedly committed the homicide of Miss London Thomas. The extensive facts and evidence will be presented in court at the preliminary examination. Defendants Jalen Pendergrass and Charlotte Pendergrass are currently in custody and have each been charged with second-degree murder, which carries a penalty of life in prison or any term of years, and tampering with evidence, which carries a 10-year maximum penalty. Both defendants were arraigned this morning in the 22nd District Court before Judge Sabrina Johnson. And this is dated back as of October 17th, so that's why it's framed that way as far as the reading. Defendant Jalen Pendergrass was remanded. Defendant Charlotte Pendergrass received a $5 million cash bond. The probable cause conference is scheduled for October 22nd at 9 a.m. Wayne County Assistant Prosecutor Dominic DeGrazia will prosecute the case. And then these are Kim Worthy's closing remarks. I am proud of the excellent work that has been done in this case. It takes countless hours of investigation and diligent work by the Michigan State Police, the Detroit Police Department, and the FBI. As a result of that work, we have been able to charge and bring the perpetrators of this cruel and deadly crime to justice, said Prosecutor Kim Worthy. And that concludes that. I want to say as majority of the work was done by the FBI or the FBI and the Michigan State Police. I'm not so sure as far as Detroit Police. They probably did a little bit, but I feel like they've had this information for over 6 months, and we're just now hearing about it. We didn't even hear anything about an anonymous tip that was made back in April, but they were doing reports in between time to know what was going on. We're trying to find out what was going on. But the question is, who is this male friend and this anonymous tip? You know, what is his relation to the Pendergrass family? Because he's trying to exclude himself from being prosecuted or being an accessory to the fact. So, you know, what does he have to hide? What does he know? Does he know more? So let me know your thoughts in the comment section, guys. Like, who do you think this guy could be? Why do you think he waited so long to come forward? And why do you think Detroit Police, or should I say Wayne County Prosecutor's Office, waited so long to bring about charges? Because the arrest was done, but they couldn't hold them on anything. So that pretty much comes from the prosecutors, not the police department. So we can't really blame them too much. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and comment. Have a good one, guys.